morning, Quadcopter 101 here with the review of another new micro whoop, and a neat one actually. This is the URUAV UR85HD. Now those of you that are subscribers to my channel know that I've already reviewed the URU85. Now this is the base version that I reviewed previously. This again is the HD version. What does that mean? The HD version has a built-in digital video recorder that enables you to record HD video from the camera in 1080p 60 frames per second, 1080p 30 frames per second, or 720p 60 frames per second. Now, I don't know why anybody would reduce it or record at 720p when you have 1080p recording capability, but supposedly this DVR board that's installed on board here can do such. But before we go into a little more details on the DVR board, let's start from the top down and go over all the different components that are on board this particular micro whoop drone. Now it starts off, we have a CADX Turtle V2 camera. As compared to the original UR85, which had a CADX EOS camera. But this is we now have the Turtle V2 camera. What does that mean? That means this has a very nice wide-angle lens, very wide-angle lens. You can see FPV video at 155 degrees field of view, but when you record the video to the digital video recorder, that's increased to 170 degrees field of view. So that should be a dramatic difference between what you're actually seeing through the screen versus what you're actually recording. Now this also has capability of recording both in NTSC and PAL for the camera. And also, let's see, the digital video recorder I already mentioned records at the different frame rates of 1080p and 720p, or resolutions at 1080p and 720p at different frame rates of 60 and 30 frames per second for 1080p and 30 frames per second for 720p. Now, also on board this thing, we have a Crazybee F4 flight control board on the bottom here, loaded up with Betaflight 4.0.0 dated 11 December 2018. Now that's not the latest version of Betaflight for this, but it's reasonable enough to go flying. We're going to see how well this actually works with the base flight control software installed on board here. But keep in mind, you can update this if you wish to do such. I don't particularly wish to do such. I like to test them as they come out of the box with what they got installed. But with that flight control board, that flight control board also has an integrated electronic speed controller, ESC, for the motors. It's a 5 amp ESC. And with that in mind, this flight control board can handle 1S through 3S batteries. Recommend flying 2S or 3S only, or 2S. Now, how do you fly 2S with this if this is set up for 3S with an XT30 connector? Well, they do provide you with this little bridle cable here to allow you to put 1S batteries in here. Okay, you install that there, and you can put two 1S batteries to make this a 2S flyer, which I've demonstrated previously on this channel. Now, what else does this also have? This has a video transmitter on board that's 25 through 200 milliwatts switchable. The video transmitter is 40 channels, and it also includes race band, and also has on-screen display and smart audio capability, so that you can adjust those on-screen display parameters using your goggles and your transmitter instead of the old-fashioned way. Although, let me talk about the old-fashioned way. This is the old-fashioned way. They give you also this on-screen display menu board, because the camera itself also has on-screen display built into it, but it's pretty rudimentary on-screen display, but you can adjust that if you wish to use that using this little controller here that plugs into this little plug that's been recessed into just below the camera, so that you can adjust. Again, this plug is only for adjusting the on-screen display menu of the camera using this little controller here that's provided. But again, I don't see many people doing that because of the built-in on-screen display in the video transmitter. It's much more easy to adjust using Betaflight, and it's much more robust. Okay, a lot more features that are included in the video transmitter's on-screen display versus the camera. So I see very few people using actually the on-screen display of the camera. Okay, let's go over other things of this. The motors. since we have this digital video recorder on board, the motors that are on here are going to have to be bigger to lift that digital video recorder as compared to the original UR85 standard. Now, the motors on this are 1102 9000 kV motors as compared to the 0805 9000 kV motors of the original UR85. So they are quite a bit bigger diameter. And let's see if you can see that. I'm not sure if that's showing up or not. But they are much larger in size than what you get with the original UR85. So, and again, that is going to be needed to lift that DVR. But with that in mind, keep in mind, since we're lifting extra weight, and we're using the same battery that comes with the UR85, expect shorter flight times is what I'm trying to say, folks. Okay, more power requirements. That means more power is going to be sucked from this battery more quickly. So shorter flight times are probably going to be a result. We'll confirm that when we go flying today. I'll be impressed if it doesn't have shorter flight times, okay? I'll be very impressed that they would be able to do that if it doesn't have shorter flight time. Let's go over other things of this particular drone that you get in the package. You get this nice little carrying case. As with the original UR85, you get a carrying case to bring your little drone with you around and out and about. The carrying case includes a slot for the drone, for accessories, and it also has a little accessory pouch on the top here, a net pouch, so that you can store batteries, mainly, is what most people would put in that. Okay, other things you get in the box, you get the instruction manual, very good instruction manual. Covers just about everything you need to know of this drone. Particularly, one thing that's important that I forgot to mention, this has integrated receivers on board here. This is available in Frsky, Flysky, and DSM2, DSMX, or PMP. If you don't want a receiver built at all, you can install your own receiver. I don't see much people doing that. Most people have or either Frsky, Flysky, or DSMX, Spectrum capability transmitters. But if you wish, you can also go PMP. Now, those transmitters are integrated into the flight control board, okay? That's a big change. It doesn't have its separate, not transmitter, I'm sorry, receiver built in to the flight control board. A separate receiver that you have to access separately. It's built into the flight control board, folks. Okay, real short. Built in there. With that in mind, it also has a little bind button on the right, and there's another similar button. Let's see if I can bring it up close enough so you can see those, but they're probably not. But there is a little white button on the lower right next to the USB port that is for binding. That's the one you click on the one on the right to put this into bind mode. Now, this does not require simultaneously holding down this button while plugging in the battery. You can actually plug in the battery first and then press that bind button. That is a big change and a big advance that I really like. Normally, this is a two-person job. I need to get my wife to put these into bind mode while I'm plugging in the battery, or she plugs in the battery while I'm holding down the bind pin. This doesn't. Again, you just plug in the battery and press that button, and it puts this into bind mode, and then you can go into the menus of your transmitter and bind your particular transmitter to this drone. Other things I forgot to mention that I did not mention yet is these propellers. These are different setup. They appear to be the same propellers as on the UR85, except they now are installed via screws. On the UR85HD, these were held on by friction alone. And I did have one pop off in my video review, okay? So, excuse me. So, keep in mind that, again, this now has screwed in propellers that are not going to fall off. Okay, I like that. Okay, that was a big con in my opinion on this one when it actually did pop off in the field. Although this is a great flyer, it had a possibility of these propellers flying off. Okay, especially in a crash. That's what happened to me. Okay, but again, you get a full spare set of propellers. You get this little bridle cable for plugging in 1S batteries. You get a battery strap if you're not satisfied with this particular strap here, which is made for holding this particular battery. You can use your own batteries via this battery strap that they give you. You get a full spare set of screws. These are not propeller screws. These are, actually, those are motor screws, they look like. And I'm not sure what the long one is. There's one that's a little bit longer than the other three. So I'm not really sure what that one's for. It's probably for one of these screws, you know, of the canopy, a spare set of screw for that canopy. Other things you get is a prop puller. And once you remove those screws, you can pry that off using this prop puller. And also you get a screwdriver for these little tiny little screws. So that's the UR85 in a nutshell. Quite a bit heavier drone than its predecessor. This one's 51 grams and this one's 77 grams, but it now includes this heavier motor to lift that extra 26 grams of weight, which is probably that DVR. So we'll see how this actually performs. The previous HD whoops that I've flown, the cameras looked really well, especially 60 frames per second. So I'm kind of excited to go fly this and see how it performs. So let's go out into the field and see how it does. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and we are out at one of my favorite flying fields with the URUAV 85HD. Before we go flying, there are a couple things I forgot to mention about the DVR, in particular how to operate it. Okay, I got a little screwdriver here. You're going to need something like this with you. But anyways, here is where you insert the SD card, and I have an SD card inserted in there right now. In the back right of the drone is that little slot where you would slide in your SD card for recording. But how do you start the recording itself? Well, on the front left, just left and below the camera, there is a tiny little black button right there. I don't know if you're seeing it or not, folks. I'd have to remove the canopy entirely, but it's there. And you do a quick press to start the recording. And the recording, how you verify the recording, first off, you get a little red blinking light, but it's very hard to see, and it's on the back end of the DVR right here, and it lights up below here. And you can see it indoors, but outdoors it's impossible to see. But it also shows up on the screen, on the on-screen display of your FPV video. Okay, so you will get FPV confirmation that it is recording when you press that button with a quick press. You can also switch between the different resolutions and frame rates: 1080p 30 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames per second, and 720p 30 frames per second by a long press of that button. But we won't be doing that because it's already set at 60 frames per second, 1080p, and that again is what most people will be flying it as. So let's get this fired up. I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to do line of sight flying first, and then we will go into FPV flying. So hold on, folks. Okay, we are bound to the transmitter here. I am going to start off in angle mode, then we'll switch to horizon mode for line of sight flying. One thing I forgot to mention, though, when I got this out of the box and I did a first test flight in the house in angle mode, the gyros were way off. You may need to install, not install, but calibrate the gyros using Betaflight. Unfortunately, that's what happened with mine, folks. It was, the gyros were way off. But again, you just connect it to Betaflight. There's a little button here that says calibrate accelerometers. You level the drone before you do that. Put it in a level, and then you press that button to calibrate the gyros. And what happens if the gyros are out of sync is the drone will drift. It'll drift quite a bit. It'll slide in its flight. But for steady hover, you may need to calibrate those gyros. Just a quick aside there. Okay, let's put this into arm and take to the air and see how it flies. Now, one thing I haven't done yet is to start that video recording. So hold on. Again, I need to press that little button in the front here, and it's just a quick little press right there with that. Using a little tool, you're going to need a little screwdriver, and then confirm on your goggles, which I have over here, that it is actually recording. And to do such, I'm going to need to turn on the goggles. Okay, I am recording. I can see it on my FPV video, and I'm going to start the FPV or video recording of this too. But my FPV video says it is recording, so we're good to go there. So going back to the controller, and let's take to the air and see how it flies. So zipping it up. Okay, first thing people want to see is the punch. Well, that motor does have a punch. It is a punchy little thing. Let's bring it around here, bring it up close. Flies very nicely, folks. Very nice little flyer. Okay, let's bring it up close here. I'm going to switch to horizon mode. We're in horizon right now, bringing it over here. Bringing it up closer again. And with horizon, we always want to try flips. And it flips well too. So those extra motors, yeah, they do lift this DVR nicely. Very nicely indeed, actually. So that was a wise choice for them to update the size of the motors to lift that extra 20 grams. Otherwise, you know, this would be real, wouldn't have much punch. But this actually, whoop, I keep forgetting something. I forgot I was in horizon mode. Sorry about that, folks. Did I damage anything? No. Okay. Good. Let me bump up this camera, slide it up, because I am going to be going fast and furious through the desert here. I'm hoping to. But let's go back into the air again. I forgot to mention, this also has turtle mode. I could have demonstrated that. Hold on. Turtle mode. Let's put it right here, and let's see if that turtle mode actually works. It is set up to switch 3, and I think you need to... Never mind. We are not going to use turtle mode. So, especially out here in the desert. I'm not really a fan of turtle mode, folks, because that can block. If one of your motors is blocked and you go into turtle mode while it's upside down, you can hurt something. So I don't normally fly in turtle mode. Okay, I discovered with that turtle mode, if you keep that in turtle mode, that thing will not arm when it's back in its normal righted position. So that can confuse a lot of people, folks. So again, I don't mess with turtle mode. I do not like it. But again, arming it, let's take the air again. Make sure we're still okay. We're good to go again. But that turtle mode's a funky thing. I don't like it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't on some drones. And this one in particular, I don't think it works very well. Maybe indoors, but outdoors, no. Would not do it. Okay, enough of... No, not enough. I haven't done enough of horizon mode flying yet. Bringing it back over again. I want to do some more flips. People like to see flips. Forward flip. That's a forward flip. So, pretty cool. Cool little drone. Let's go back to the pad and do some FPV flying with this little thing. Well, wait a minute. Before we do FPV, let's see how fast this flies in angle mode. This is full forward pitch. It zips. Zippy little thing. This is going to be fun. So if you want to fly it in angle mode outdoors, you can go fast. Just to let you know, for those beginners who aren't into acro just yet. You know, of course, with angle mode, you can't do the flips, but in horizon mode, you can. So, bringing it back over one more time here, bringing it up close. Showing it up close in flight. The little URUAV UR85HD. Okay, let's put it on the pad. We'll go into FPV flying of this. So, hold on, folks. How do you like my shirt today, folks? I forgot to mention. Okay, let's go into acro. Let me adjust this a little bit here. Like so, and arming the motors, and away we go. And let me get a feel for it first. Now it's been a while, folks, since I've flown acro. About over a month. Let's see here. I'm going to start out slow here just to get a feel for it. There we go. Now, with this particular drone, with its camera, it should look pretty cool. Let's take it up high, in other words, and show you the area. Now, most people, again, want this for the camera recording capability. And as such, how does it work as a FPV drone, or as a camera drone? And it seems to work rather well. Here, I got to scratch my nose a bit. There's a bug on my nose.
Sorry about that. Now, let's speed it up a bit. Getting the feel for it, going up higher. Going up and trying that. That came out nicely. So the feeling for the PIDs seem to be nice. Even though they're older PIDs, they seem to be actually nice. And performs rather well there. So let's see here. Taking it up again. Pinch. And over end. Coming down. Coming toward us again. And let's do a left roll. Going up again a bit and doing a right roll. Coming around. Nice little drone, actually. Kind of like it. Now, I've been looking for a drone to take with me on vacation this year. I will be going on vacation as usual. Going up higher again to show this camera. Smooth, huh? I hope it's coming out smooth. Going up even a little bit higher. Showing the area. Again, you know, this would be a really non-intrusive drone to take with you. Very few people would bother you about it, in my opinion. As compared to, say, like a larger DJI drone, DJI, who, you know, a lot of the drone phobic get crazy about those bigger, even the Spark. People get complaining about that because I don't know why they complain about the Spark, but some people do. In fact, I seen a guy that was fined by the FAA for flying a Spark over people. Okay, going up. And this one, I doubt you'd get into much hassle. But nice, smooth flyer. Its PIDs are nice and gentle. Nice and gentle, I guess for the camera mainly. For videoing with the camera. And that battery, I'm surprised, is lasting quite a long time. We're flying 3 minutes now, I believe. Let's come down real low and fast. I guess I could push that camera up a little bit more to go faster, but we're not going to do that. I almost hit that bush. Coming around again. Nice little flyer. Now, a lot of other people got this already in front of me. You know, I'm pretty late to the table with this review. Although I just got this a couple days ago. But I'm sure I didn't get a chance to actually see what the other reviewers think about this before coming out here. I should have. But I think they probably do like this also. Okay, my battery's getting low now. I should be coming in. Or keeping it rather close. Yeah. We'll keep it gentle here for the last part of the flight. Oh, here we go. We're coming in now. Battery's getting low. Coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. Ah, we're landing right there. I don't want to hurt that battery. And disarming. So I'm going to take the hat from my wife here. And stop this video recording before I forget. And we'll go over and stop the video recording on the drone. So, and give you my final thoughts on this little thing. Again, nice little HD flyer. Nice and smooth PIDs. You know, not super punchy, not super aggressive. Here, let me stop that video before I forget. Quick press there. And verifying that that red light stops blinking, and it does. Actually, it looks like it goes to blue but after it's done. But nice little flyer, especially for a HD DVR recording. Again, the PIDs are set to be rather gentle, keep it nice and smooth through the flight. And overall, I kind of liked it. So let's see how that video comes out in the end, though. That's where it's really important. Is the video steady? Did I get any view of these props? I don't think I did. And any jello, we'll find out in post-production. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.